All right, guys. Hello and welcome to my little PSVR 2 preview for two games coming out this week. And really exciting stuff, man. Wanted to show off a little bit of gameplay and give you guys some details on these games that I've been playing so you can know what to expect when you eventually get to check them out. Those two games, of course, are Red Matter 2, which comes out Thursday, and Humanity, which actually just came out today. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into it. It's not going to be a super long video. Just want to give you guys my thoughts on these games and let you know, like I said, what to expect. Now, I know that Humanity came out today, but we're actually going to start out with previewing Red Matter 2. So let's do it. What up, Salvador? What up, Blue Jew? What up, Scott? What up, Stingray? So to kick things off, let's get some gameplay here going. And so a big question that probably a lot of you guys want to know is, how good does this game look? Well, let me tell you, it looks very good. It looks, as they've stated before, as a technical piece, it is very nicely made. And I wish more indie games looked this good. Hell, I wish some AAA games looked this good from bigger studios, because what you see on the screen here is actually pretty much what it looks like in the headset. And it is very nice. This game, of course, has 120 frames per second, very high resolution. It is crystal clear, very detailed. There's no reprojection, so it's a native 120 frames per second. And it looks excellent. You could not tell that this game was, designed on other hardware or lesser hardware or anything. It looks when you buy a PSVR 2, this is what you expect a PSVR 2 game to look like. And this is what it is. It is very nice. Now, I see what they've done here, and they've done some nice tricks with it, to where the way they kind of pull off it looking so as good as it does is kind of by, I don't want to say a minimalistic design, because there is kind of a lot going on, but if you look around here, like, it looks just like that, but now in VR, and it looks fantastic. But as you can see, there's not necessarily a whole bunch of stuff constantly happening on the screen. It's more so just what they've put into the game looks very good. They focused on what they have in the design to look as good as possible. And I think that was a really smart move, and shows you how other developers and teams can kind of pull off something like this. Now, make no mistake, the people at Vertical Robot are absolute wizards for making this look as good as they did. Because, like I said, it looks fantastic. It looks crystal clear. It is super good. Now here, gameplay-wise, it is similar to Red Matter 1, where you have these little machines. I love that they've included the touch capacitors here, to where you can kind of see your fingers moving around, your thumb. When you move your thumb around, sorry for any lightning, by the way, it's storming a little bit. When you see, when you move your thumb around the controller, it actually moves it in the game. There's a little bit of latency with it, so it's not like the most one-to-one immersive thing ever. However, it still is very impressive and very cool. Now, you're going to see me kind of struggle here a little bit to figure out how to grab this item. But it's not as janky as I'm making it look. It's actually pretty good. I know it's a little like he's kind of fumbling around. Yes, it was my first time playing the game. But for those who don't know, Red Matter 2 is a sequel to Red Matter, which came out on originally on PC and then PSVR later. And it was a technical marvel on that headset as well. And it is, I guess, best described as a puzzle, a sci-fi puzzle adventure with some mysterious elements. One thing I love about this game is the mystery behind it. It constantly makes you want to figure out what's going on. And with this game, I've really been taking my time with it. And I haven't been trying to rush through it. I've been just trying to soak in the view, soak in all the, they give you these two things that are in your hands are basically like a multi-tool. And you have a bunch of different options. You can use them to scan things. You can use them for a flashlight. You can use them for many different reasons, or at least a certain set of reasons. And they're just very handy in these different situations. But they've added a couple different things in here to this game. More elements than just puzzle solving, which we'll get into in a little bit. But like I said, graphically, this game is very impressive, especially for an indie game. I mean, when a lot of the indie games we've been getting lately, a lot of people saying, oh, I don't like Quest ports or whatever. It's like, no, this looks like a high-end PC game, or like I said, like just a straight up PSVR 2 game. This is what you would come to expect. So the story picks up right where the original game, it seems like pretty much where the original game left off. And I mean, look at this view, man. Oh, it is gorgeous. Some really, really nice rooms here. Really nice set pieces and stuff. Now, I said that they get away. It seems like they get away with some of this looking so good. There's not going to be any spoilers, Scott. Don't worry. I'm keeping this to as close to the beginning of the game as possible, with which many people have already played already on Quest. However, you definitely missed out on the best version of this game because this looks stunning. But here they're just introducing you to the scanning tool. They're introducing you to some new characters. But gameplay wise, so this game runs about anywhere from, I'd say, 6 to 8 hours, depending on your pacing that you get through it. And overall, it is really, really well crafted. Now, I think what's nice is like this is the kind of game that defines what makes VR special. It is something that it is very interactive. It has a lot of great VR mechanics, things that we love VR for. This game does, and it does really, really well. As you can see here, I really took my time just looking, examining everything, scanning everything, because I actually really, even though I don't necessarily care about the story or entirely even know what's going on, I follow some of it, having played the first game. It's very fun and interesting to just hear what the story has to say, what it wants to tell you, and everything. And, there's probably a big question out there is, do you need to play the first game? No, you don't need to play the first game. However, it will explain some things to you, and you'll have a better understanding of some things if you were to have played the first game. You would definitely understand a couple different references, some of the mechanics, and things like that. So the gameplay, man. The gameplay mixes in a couple different things now. Like I said, there's a little bit of platforming. Here, you'll see there's these new kind of puzzles where this is kind of like how you hack stuff. You have to insert this little module into these things, and then you kind of find this spot in a 3D space that you have to unlock, kind of connect the dots and stuff. I like all the little things they've done here with this. Here I am playing with some cigars. And yeah, the puzzles, once again, are really, really good. In fact, I think the puzzles, the highlight of this game is absolutely a mix between the graphics and the puzzles. Now, they've tried to throw in, let me tell you something real quick. Let me show you something here. So in the first game, there was a moment where I got stuck in the game because I just was staring at a pane of glass. Well, a similar thing happened to me when I came into this room. Look at this, guys. If you want to know the one moment of this game that probably has impressed me the most, look at how I just stopped in my tracks and I had to look at this little glass casing with these plants in them and look at them. That looks that good in the headset. It looks like that in VR, and it is insane. There are moments in this game and certain things in the game that just look absolutely stunning. And that flower pot right there was a great example of one. Let me bring up some other stuff. So I want to get into some of the other gameplay elements, however. Let's see. So here's some of the platforming, which is pretty cool. There's some different puzzles. So in this game, the answer to that question, Looper, did I like the action elements, the shooting, the stealth, the platforming? The stealth is excellent. I love the stealth. Here you can see there's like these turrets with these sensors, and you have to sneak around them. The stealth is awesome, and I thought it fit really well into the gameplay. Oh, wow, I can't believe I survived that. I don't think I survived that the first time, or did I? Somehow I lived right there. The stealth is very, very good. As for the platforming and the shooting itself, I have to say that I didn't enjoy that as much. I appreciated the fact that they tried to throw in some new elements to it. They tried to mix in stuff just other than puzzles. But I really don't think they had to. I really enjoyed the puzzles in this game quite a bit. I'm gonna minimize this and talk about it some more, so I don't spoil anything else. But yeah, man, I thoroughly enjoyed the puzzles in this. I thoroughly enjoyed the stealth in this. As for the platforming and shooting, I'd say that's a little bit weaker. Like I said, similar to Star Wars, it's kind of the same problem I have with Star Wars. I don't think everybody's going to have a problem with the shooting and stuff. I think a lot of people will enjoy it. But similarly to Star Wars, it's like, yes, it has shooting, but it's not this like satisfying gunplay that's like, you know, that really hooks me. I'm very much a twitchy gameplay kind of shooter guy, and I love the gameplay, the gunplay to feel really good. It's why I like Pavlov so much. The stuff like manual reloading and everything. Again, really impressive that they even added this, but I wouldn't say that it is the strong. It is a strength of the game, more so just an additional feature to kind of break things up a little bit. There was some parts of the game where some of it kind of falls apart a little bit for me. It's like, again, they're trying to force these things. They're trying to force certain things, and I just didn't think they were as like fun and kept me as engaged as I'd like. But overall, the majority of the game is fantastic. And like I said, if you want a next-gen looking game that has really good puzzles, and I just love the atmosphere, and it gets so eerie. If you really want a good a quality sci-fi, story-driven adventure, then you are going to absolutely love Red Matter, I think. Like I said, some of the gameplay elements, I love the stealth, not so much. The platforming was okay. The gunplay is definitely the weakest, but really, really enjoying taking my time with this one. And I'm several hours in. I think I'm like 4 hours in. I was talking to Brian, and he says I'm almost done. So it sounds like I'm blasting through it, which is surprising considering I have been really trying to take my time. I'm not rushing through it. And the puzzles themselves, I don't think they're not like super difficult. They're a little challenging. Like, they definitely make you stop and think and figure things out. Mileage will probably vary. a little bit when it comes to the challenge of it. I don't think it's particularly challenging, but good God, is it fantastic looking. And like I said, I think if more indie games looked like this, I don't think people would have as many problem with indie games as they would with this. But yeah, there was something else I thought I was gonna add, but that's about it. Scott says, testing my new setup, new phone is set up all properly. Thank you, man. Thank you for the donation. Thank you, Man Bear Pig the Game Cat, for the donation. Says, this game gives me hope for Half-Life Alyx visually. Yeah, so I don't know, because I haven't played Half-Life Alyx. The one thing I pointed out here, though, is that, like, I mean, I do think something very high fidelity graphics are achievable on PlayStation VR 2, even with lots going on. This game, and I kind of feel like I might have downplayed it a little bit. This game does have moments where there is a lot going on the screen, but man, visually, it is just a really like technically, visually, it is very, very impressive and very good in that regard. So if you just need something that just, you spent a $550 on a headset and you want something that looks like you spent $550 on the headset, then you're going to dig Red Matter 2, because it is absolutely a game worth adding to your collection. I don't even know what the price is, probably $30-$40. It is definitely high quality. So you don't, and seems like it has a good bit of length to it. So very, very good stuff there. Anything else I want to add about Red Matter? The soundtrack is excellent. I really, really love the soundtrack. Something that I don't think gets mentioned enough in games is the music and the score in this, and the way the score can sometimes swell and just hit in certain moments. Definitely are awesome. There's a great variety of places to explore. Some of the new features that you have are like the flashlight. That was not something that you had in the first game. And it has the ability to shoot out these little glow stick things. And when you do, it's like this green, this like green glow, and just the lighting, very good lighting, very good resolution, very good textures everywhere. And yeah, so really, really good overall. I think you guys are going to very much enjoy this. Looper says you don't think there's more than 4 enemies at a time. Is that for Half-Life Alyx? Yeah, this game has, like I said, it's got some enemies. It's got some like drones and stuff that you fight. And while I think it's well designed on paper, I think when it comes to actually playing it, it's like, it's okay. It's not like super satisfying. But I definitely don't think it's like bad or anything. It's far from bad. But great game, great adventure, just like the first one. And kind of has you like really into what's going on and figuring out. The mystery element is definitely another strength of Red Matter. It is such a good mystery game, which we also don't have many of in anywhere really, VR or non-VR. I really, really like the mystery element and how eerie it can get sometimes. The sci-fi is really good. Exploring around, kind of going from these different planets and stuff in your little pod. It's pretty sweet, man. But yeah, man. So that is it for Red Matter 2. Gets a big thumbs up from me. I'm somewhere around like a 9 probably for it. Hovering maybe slightly less, somewhere around a 9. Somewhere I think I cap the cap is a 9, but it is very impressive and a very excellent game. And it makes me so happy that we got it because I really love the first one. And this game was also equally good. Now, would I say, do I like Red Matter or Red Matter 2 more? Oof. That's a tough question. I actually think there are definitely moments and different things about Red Matter 2 that are far superior. However, I still think I have a sweet spot in my heart for the first Red Matter. I love it's crazy. I know it's going to sound crazy, but I actually love that it just stuck to puzzles, and that it was just puzzle after puzzle after puzzle. But what made it work so well is you never felt like you were doing a puzzle. This game is the same. You feel like you're just going on an adventure. You feel like you're solving problems. You're fixing things on these bases and stuff. And it didn't feel like you were actually figuring out puzzles so much as solving problems and uncovering mysteries and stuff. So I do think there's always going to be a soft spot in my heart for the first game, but again, thoroughly enjoyed this game so far. Which Secrets of, what's up, dude? Wants to know if there's any PSVR 2 update on Wander. I'm not sure yet, but now that's another mind-blowing puzzle game. I'm a little puzzled out, guys. I'm not gonna lie. There's been a lot of puzzle games lately, and I have to admit, I think it's time to admit that I like puzzle games. I know, shocker to many of you out there. I know some of you just spit out your drinks everywhere. I think it's time to admit that I like puzzle games, especially in VR in particular. This is breaking news. I agree. But let me tell you a little bit of something. That being said, I'm so freaking sick of puzzles right now, guys. I'm just coming around to puzzle games, admitting that I like them finally, but I'm so freaking sick of them because it's just been puzzle game after puzzle game after puzzle game, and I'm really tired of it. So please deliver to us something other than puzzle games. I think this is how I ended up hating puzzle games in the first place, was I got so sick of them all the time. So this brings us to our other game that we are going to talk about today, and that is one that actually came out today, Humanity. Now let me just say, if you've ever heard of something, if you're old enough to remember a little game called Lemmings or Intelligent Cube, let me just say, guys, this is going to be the biggest praise I have to say of this game. This is probably one of my favorite puzzle games since Intelligent Cube and Lemmings, because I feel like it's a lot like both of those in many ways. This game, of course, is more of a straightforward puzzle game, where this does not try to, this doesn't mask itself as anything else. It doesn't mask itself as an adventure. Although, I will say, this game has a pretty cool kind of poetic, abstract story that it tells, going alongside it. And I was actually, one of the things that was surprising to me was like, hey, I was actually kind of enjoying the mysterious story that they have going on here. It's pretty cool. But what the strength of this game, I would say, are a couple things. First of all, there's so much shit happening on the screen here. Visually, while it's not necessarily like this crazy next-gen looking game, there's just so many things happening on the screen, especially with these crowds of people, that it makes it look really, really cool when you've got people running, jumping, walking, and climbing all over the place. You said Cannon Hawk wants to know how far have I made it into this game. I'm several hours in. I've played a lot of this actually, and what I'm showing right now is just from the first couple levels. But I'm several hours in, probably on like chapter 5 or something like that. And this game, when it comes to kind of more of a challenging puzzle game, this is definitely more challenging than Red Matter is. It is a lot more challenging. The strength of this game is that it is just a badass game. I saw the IGN reviews and stuff going around. I saw several places going around giving this game a like 9 out of 10. And I'm actually very happy about that, because I love when games do something unique, do something different. And we know that this team has been working on this game for several years now. I definitely have enjoyed this quite a bit. Like I said, some of my classic favorites are Lemmings, are Intelligent Cube. So if you like those, I think you'll get a good kick out of this. This is also a very long game. There is a lot of content to it, and there's several levels, and there's also, you'll see in the top right, there's these goldies that you have to kind of pick up and lead to the kind of end point of the game. I think the biggest weakness of this game actually comes from the VR portion. So everyone's been giving this game a 9, whatever. But that's coming from you guys have to realize that's coming from the perspective of flat screen gamers, non-VR gamers. This game does have some nice VR features, like it is visually pleasing at times. Like I said, when there's you see these people just pouring out everywhere, like that looks really cool in VR. Some of the effects, it's very clean. It's kind of like a sterile look to it. The haptics are also really well done. When they're typing, or when there's a lot of story being told through text here, and whenever they're telling the story through text, there's like haptics going off in the controller, and they feel really good. It's actually it's like one of those subtle things that actually feels really nice. But excellent puzzle design, and it gets pretty crazy here, pretty difficult at times, very satisfying to figure things out. This is another one where I was completely taking my time with it. I was not trying to rush through it. And I was not only trying to beat the levels, but I was trying to beat them with getting all of the goldies along with it, which the cool thing about this is as you get more goldies, you actually unlock more features. Look at all these people though, man. It is just such a crazy concept with this game. But as you get more goldies, you also unlock some things here. This is kind of just the menu around. I want to see, you get these goldie rewards, and it's pretty funny, man. You get things like big head unlocks. You get like little you can get big head for the little people. You get cowboy hats for them, different outfits and stuff. So it actually, not only is it like satisfying to unlock beat the puzzles, get the goldies and everything, but they actually give you a reward for it, which is nice. Plus, there's also a certain amount that are required in order to progress in the game. And there's a lot of levels in this game. There's also boss fight kind of levels where there's like one big level at the end of each chapter that is like a little bit more challenging. Let's see if I can actually find, oh my God, dude, this kind of stuff right here, like this was pretty crazy. When all these people are flying around like this looks so badass in VR. I was just having a lot of fun playing this. Now, again, the biggest weakness of this game is that this is a badass game. I think all the people out there giving it a great rating is well deserved. However, as VR players, your perspective is going to be a little bit different. As a VR player, I feel more like it is just a badass game that's playable in VR. Red Matter is like clearly built from the ground up for VR, and like, has all these interactive mechanics and everything. This is just just a really excellent game that you just so happen to be able to play in VR. And I'll take it, man. I'll take it all day. But it is definitely, like I said, it does make it a little bit of a weakness of the game that it's not originally designed for it. But man, visually, it is very cool. Very excellent puzzles. And let me see if I can pull up some, like one of the boss fights or something here. Just these crowds of people, when you get into like these crazy crowds of people, getting a good look at some of the puzzles, what they look like here, a lot of crazy stuff to figure out. I really, really enjoyed. I really like these levels that have like the water background too. Um, some of these things. I mean, look at the amount of people going on here. Um, Pietrek F says, "Get bored of this game after 15 minutes." I do think, the length of this game. Some people will not end up finishing it. I think most people maybe won't end up finishing it, because it's got a lot of content. I mean, um, but I do think it is a full game, which is nice. But yeah, it can. This is definitely one that I had to take breaks with. I didn't want to just try to push through the entire game. You will exhaust yourself and you will get very bored, if you just try to push through it all the time. But it's very fun to step away from and then come back to and just kind of keep making a little bit of progress here. This is what, one of the kind of the boss levels looks like. There's like 4 different points you had to take out. Each side of the puzzle has a different thing you had to figure out, and you had to get them to smash a certain point of it. And then what's cool is, like, as you progress the game, the mechanics, they start introducing more and more mechanics. There's all these little different arrows that you set for them and everything, but there's more mechanics where, like, you have to place all the movement modules prior to pressing start, and then once you press them, you can no longer do anything after the fact. So some of them actually require you to both alter stuff while everything's going on, and then some of them require you to alter things or just have everything set in place at first. Let's see if I win any. No, there's not going to be any impies to unlock here. There's a lot of points in this game where there was a puzzle that popped up, and I was like, I'm not gonna enjoy this or whatever. But it's not as bad as it seems. Like there was a lot of puzzles where I was like just dreading figuring out, but then it actually turned out to not be so bad. I would love to see, and some of them are like really, really fun and satisfying, and like I said, visually, they're pretty nice. But yeah, man. So for this game, I think as a VR game, I think I'd be somewhere around the 8 territory. I think as a VR game, I think I'm somewhere around just an 8 for this. I think it's an excellent game. Like I said, maybe not built for VR. Maybe it goes on a little long, but it's not meant to be a just quick, satisfying rush of a game. It's more so like, no, here's a full ass game that you can enjoy, and if you enjoy playing it in VR, you can, and it's pretty sweet. I think it's pretty good, man. So overall, pretty great week for puzzles. Obviously, but yeah, man, just I wanted to shed some light on these games because I do think they're very good. They're very quality, and as far as indie games go, these are actually pretty damn good indie games. Yeah, I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. I'm not in any rush to finish Humanity. I do think it'll change. You know, if you want to be hypercritical about, you know, the VR mechanics, yeah, you could lower the score, but I just think it's a good game. It's well designed. It's got good puzzles. It's got a great. I think the one thing that'll surprise most people is kind of the story and the events that are kind of happening. It's got a very trippy thing that's like going on with it while you play. That's pretty cool. And despite being several hours into the game, I still have a lot to see, but yeah, man, look, it's not gonna be for everyone. And like I said, it's not even something that I'm even concerned with finishing. It's not something you play from start to finish and you're just captivated the whole time and everything. But it doesn't mean that it's not a great game still. For some people, it's for me, it's absolutely no less than a 7. It's more like somewhere, if anything, like the lower 7s or upper 7s to 8. But that's, again, I haven't finished it yet. I expect most people won't, but if you get it on like PlayStation Plus or whatever, I think you'll get a couple hours of enjoyment out of it, and like it. But that is it, guys. That is it for this week. I think Red Matter is definitely the more exciting game. I think it seems more like a PSVR 2 game. That being said, I really do enjoy Humanity. And, even Red Matter 2, it has its flaws in some places, I think. But, but yeah, man, it's been fun. It's been fun. Honestly, there's just been so much to keep up with. So, but that's it, guys.